everybody.
Oh, was I supposed to say something?
You can.
I'm never sure if I'm supposed to fill in after that or, like, wait.
It's, dealer's choice, really.
Yeah, and I always pick wrong because I'm not a very lucky person.
You almost always pick to say nothing. I don't always give you the option of adding in something, but whenever I pause for you to say something, I'm met with silence.
I've been burned too many times. Every time I try to fill in after, that's when you run your mouth.
Oh, sorry. We should. Well, let's discuss it in advance next time.
Let's just make this whole episode a discussion of how we run the show.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club, the show that we run
into the ground.
I'm Mike.
And I'm not.
And this episode begins now! And that's the end, and the theme song has finished.
And this is all staying in the final cut.
Absolutely. It's Dragon Quest.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody fears it.
Dragon Quest on the horizon, darkening the skies.
I don't know anything about Dragon Quest.
No, me neither, except the blue slime.
Have you played any?
Mm-mm.
I have played no real Dragon Quest games, but I have played Dragon Quest Monsters. Well, I guess it was called Dragon Warrior Monsters back then. And I played Dragon Quest Monsters Joker for the DS.
Joker?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
What a weird naming convention.
Well, it had a kind of like playing card theme about it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the main monster that you get could become one of 4 different forms, and they were like all like card suit themed or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time. I never finished it.
So it was your favorite game ever, is what you're saying.
It was pretty good. That's the game, I've told you before a long time ago about this, but that's the game where I caught myself a ghost and tried to name it Spooky, and I just got the message, you can't enter that word.
Oh yeah, because it has poo in it.
Because it has poo in it. Dragon Quest was released in 1986 for the NES. It was developed by Chunsoft. I didn't know that.
I didn't know a lot of things about Dragon Quest. Like, I knew it was old, but I didn't think it was old.
It's old, yeah.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy old.
So Chunsoft developed the first 5 Dragon Quest games, and none of the ones afterwards, which felt kind of sad to me.
That they just gave up?
But to me, it felt more like it was taken from them. I don't know the specifics. I couldn't find out if there's a reason why they haven't done any of the other ones, but it felt
Who
like
did the other ones?
it seems like a few different companies have done the other ones since. But 'cause it's owned by... The game was developed by Chunsoft, but it was published by Enix. So they did the Dragon Quest games up until 5. They also did the Mystery Dungeon series, of which I have played the Pokemon entries.
Yeah, I've played a couple not actual mystery dungeons.
Yeah. And then they still count. I think all of the Mystery Dungeon games are spin-offs of other series. I don't think there's any specific Mystery Dungeon series.
That's interesting.
It is, because from what I can tell, the very first Mystery Dungeon was a Dragon Quest spin-off.
That's wild.
And then there's the Chocobo ones, there's a Twinbee one.
Yeah.
I think the Pokemon ones were the most successful ones, but it seems like every Mystery Dungeon game that's ever existed is a spin-off of another series.
You're telling me that Pokemon was somehow more successful than Twinbee?
I know. It's wild.
I don't understand that. The B-mates will hear about this. The hive will be buzzing.
And then Chunsoft eventually merged with Spike and became Spike Chunsoft. Now best known for Danganronpa, I think.
Ah, yeah. Friends of the show.
Yeah. But the game was published by Enix. So Enix's name is a combination of ENIAC, which was the first computer, and Phoenix.
ENIAC is a real cute name.
It stands for something, I think. I didn't look up what.
Some good research.
Everyone knows it. An acronym for computer.
It's canon now. You can't unhear it.
Yeah, there we go. Enix was originally a tabloid newspaper.
Ooh.
And they got into game publishing by holding contests for PC programming hobbyists and publishing the winning games.
Come up with the spiciest goss. Did you hear what Pac-Man was doing?
Well, I think they were just a regular newspaper. Not even. I don't think they even cared about video games.
They didn't even know what they were yet. They still don't know what they are.
But Enix is just a publishing company. They didn't actually make any games, which I didn't know.
No, me neither.
But they published ActRaiser, Terranigma, Mischief Makers, Grandia 2, and then they eventually merged with Square and became Square Enix, which they remain to this day.
Today.
So Enix, I'm assuming, retained all the rights to Dragon Quest from publishing it, because that tends to be what publishers do. So then, they're free to just take it to another studio and have another studio do it.
Have another go at it.
Yeah. But I always find it sad when a studio other than the original is doing it now.
Especially when they've put out multiple.
Yeah. It does seem like a lot of the same people are still involved, though, at least.
That's good.
The game was created by Yuji Horii, who wrote weekly video games columns in Shonen Jump.
Cool.
That was like the first thing he was doing. Then he wrote and designed all 12 Dragon Quest games so far.
Wow.
So even though Chunsoft aren't making them anymore, they're still written by the same guy.
That's cool.
Who has always written them. He also wrote all of the Monsters spin-offs. So I guess they're canon.
Is that what canon means? They can still be written by them, but have nothing to do with the universe.
I guess that's true. Well, I think at least the first Dragon Quest Monsters, I didn't know this until recently, actually. But in the first Dragon Quest Monsters, you are actually playing as one of the party members from, I think, Dragon Quest 4 or 5, but like when he was a kid.
And he grows up to raise some heck.
Hopefully it's canon. I want it to be canon. He also designed the Fortune Street games, which I know of.
I believe I've heard of them.
They've been going for a long, long time. We only fairly recently started getting them in English. And now they have like Mario characters in and stuff.
That's what I thought. I have seen a Let's Play of one of those.
Okay. Yeah, they usually, the more recent ones, I think, tend to have both characters from Mario and Dragon Quest in them. And that's because the creator of Dragon Quest designed them.
This game is fun and all, but I'd like if it had some from my good game.
He was also one of the writers for Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay. I see you.
And he was the creator of a game called The Portopia Serial Murder Case.
What?
It's an adventure game, and it is apparently the game which inspired Hideo Kojima to make video games.
Has it ever been translated?
I'm gonna assume not, but there's probably a fan translation patch.
Good to say.
Because it was like
something we need to look at.
Yeah, it's like an old Japanese point and click text adventure thing, which Kojima's first game was as well. I don't think that got translated either. Which seems wild because it's Kojima.
Yeah, but all of that text-heavy stuff, America still isn't ready.
That's true. Look how long it took us to get Phoenix right.
Yeah, we're still... Visual novels are still pretty niche.
Unfortunately.
Despite being incredible.
So apparently the idea for Dragon Quest came after Hori had seen Wizardry at an expo. Wizardry being a Western RPG game for PC. Way back in the early 80s, I guess.
Right. Is that like some NetHack, extremely low... What are the words I'm looking for? Where you're just like 4 pixels on a screen.
I felt like it was probably like a text adventure or something. I didn't look into
it. Man. Proving grounds of the Mad Overlord.
Gonna be honest, not seeing a lot of graphics here.
Excuse me, I see a lot of graphics in this beginning part.
Yes, all the graphics are on the title screen.
Oh yeah, this is all a text adventure.
Yeah. So yeah, basically I was right and it's a text adventure. But Dragon Quest is credited with exposing the Japanese console market to RPGs. Because apparently, at the time, RPGs were mostly Western PC games. Which is crazy to me, because whenever I think of RPGs, the first things I think of are things like Final Fantasy and stuff.
But nowadays, those get the unique denomination of being JRPGs.
That's true.
So it's the first, or the primitive birth of the JRPG?
I think it might have been. I'm not going to say definitively, maybe there was something before it, but Dragon Quest is credited as, if not the first JRPG, then the one that popularized JRPGs. And in Japanese things, I do see this one in particular referenced a lot. Like WarioWare referenced it, Nichijou referenced it. Because I've never played the original Dragon Quest, but I know what it looks like from all the many, many times I've seen it referenced in other things. And it had a very heavy influence on JRPGs moving forward.
Yeah, it was their granddaddy.
Yeah. Hori came up with the simplified menu system, which has remained pretty prevalent across all JRPGs. And he designed the leveling up system to create the feeling of a coming-of-age story.
That's interesting and adorable.
Yeah.
You don't think of it as your character actually growing.
No, but I mean, I guess it's what it is. He was worried that the game would be hard to understand, so he made leveling up very fast early in the game and designed it so that you could see the game's endpoint from the starting location.
Like, how so?
It's, if I remember rightly, it's on a little island off the coast that you can see from where you begin the game.
Okay.
And that's where you're eventually trying to end up to face down the Dragon Lord.
Like how you can see New Vegas from the starting town, but if you try to walk right to it, you get filled with bee poison.
Exactly. Yep. I feel like a lot of games do that. They'll design it so that you can see your end goal from...
And fail on your way.
I think a really good game design thing is where you can... Games that are designed so that no matter where you are, you can see your ultimate goal. Like Majora's Mask has the moon visible no matter where you are. Just recently, actually, Pokemon Legends, no matter where you are in that world, you can see Mount Coronet looming.
I hate Mount Coronet.
I know you do. You've hated it for a long time.
I have hated it since the original Diamond and Pearl, and my anger will never fade. Horrible, shitty mountain.
I know all about your disdain for Mount Coronet.
My struggles in the cave.
So he hired Akira Toriyama, best known for Dragon Ball, but also Chrono Trigger and Blue Dragon.
Yeah.
He hired him to design all the characters to increase the appeal. I'm wondering if they knew each other already, because Dragon Ball was published in Shonen Jump, which...
Yeah, it's like, I'm working on a video game. You want to come over and do some art for it?
Yeah. Dragon Quest actually has a lot of connections to Shonen Jump. I was really surprised how many connections to it.
Jump is just like where most of pop cultural Japan is born.
I mean, yeah. But it's the first time we've really talked about it outside of talking about voice actors.
True.
It's the first time we've had such a direct connection between the game itself and Shonen Jump. But yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what Shonen Jump is, Dragon Ball got its start there. I think Naruto did.
Yeah.
One Piece.
Shonen anime.
Yeah. Pretty much all of the big name manga series begin in Shonen Jump.
Right. Just weekly serials.
Yeah. When Dragon Quest was released in English in 1989, like 4 years after it came out in Japan, it was renamed to Dragon Warrior. I have always wondered why, and now I know. It's because they were trying to avoid infringing on a pen and paper RPG also called Dragon Quest.
Oh. I was just thinking that Quest was not powerful and strong enough for approaching 90s America.
God, you never know, because sometimes that's the problem.
I know.
But from 2005 onwards, they have begun using the Dragon Quest name in English as well. So it's just known as Dragon Quest for us now too.
They've corrected it.
Yeah.
All is right with the world.
It was just a Star Fox Lilac Wars situation. But now let's talk about this show.
Yeah, this show that I watched with my eyeballs.
It's called Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai.
It was not what I was expecting.
I thought that this was the first Dragon Quest show. Apparently it's not. No, this was the second Dragon Quest anime.
What? There's one that... How?
Yeah, there's one even older than this.
Jeez.
But this one first aired on October 17th, 1991 on TBS, the Tokyo Broadcasting System, which we talked about before because it's the same network that the Kirby anime aired on.
Yeah.
It has 46 episodes, and it's adapted from a manga.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a manga of the same name, based on the game, obviously. Written by...
A show based on a manga, based on a game.
Yep. And it's written by Riko Sanjo. There's nothing funnier to me than Street Fighter, the movie, the game. It's a game based on a movie based on a game.
It just reminds me of TV Puppet Pals, the movie.
But yeah, this is what I was saying about this having a lot of strange connections to Shonen Jump.
Oh yeah.
Because this manga was in Shonen Jump. It ran from October 1989 to December 1996.
Wow, that's a pretty long run.
Yeah, and it's apparently one of Shonen Jump's best-selling series of all time.
Still, to this day?
To this day, apparently.
Wow.
This anime adapts the first 10 volumes of 37.
Wow.
And obviously, because the manga wasn't finished when the show ended, the show has a different ending to the manga, which was written by Riko Sanjo, who was writing the manga. So, one thing I thought was interesting was that this is a manga based on a game series that Akira Toriyama did all the character design for. It's running in a book that Akira Toriyama is currently working on, but Akira Toriyama is not involved in the manga.
Well, could you imagine? It would just be a book full of his artwork.
I guess so, yeah. He was
else.
probably way too busy with, because I think Dragon Ball Z was like at its zenith at the same time. So
yeah,
it's animated by Toei Animation, who also did the Dragon Ball, the various Dragon's Ball. They did Sailor Moon, they did One Piece, they did Digimon, they did a bunch of early Transformers shows, and they did the opening and ending movies to Sonic CD.
Wow.
Which I love very much.
The one where he runs up the chain?
Yeah, that's the one. They're very good. I don't think there's any disputing that they are one of the best animation studios in Japan.
No, I won't fight you on that.
The show also uses some music by the guy who composed the music for the game, Koichi Sugiyama. Noted right-wing nutjob.
Oh no.
Yeah, apparently he recently recanted his anti-LGBT stance, but he's got other stuff.
That's not his only offense.
But yeah, he wrote the opening and ending themes. I think the ending theme actually uses a melody from Dragon Quest II. From what I read, anyway.
The ending theme's a bummer.
The ending theme is kind of a bummer. There is no dub of this show, so I don't have to talk about English voices.
Was there an Italian dub, or was that just a sub?
There was an Italian dub, and yes, the reason Mel's asking is because we had to get this show via the Italian Blu-ray release. It's the only way I could find it.
I like that you changed the title of it to the dub is set to Italian, so you have to change it.
Yeah.
In case I couldn't figure that out.
It wasn't in case you couldn't figure it out. It was just to remind you. Because I got like all the way through the opening and like a minute into the actual thing before I was like, are they speaking Italian?
Something's different here.
This episode is called I'm the Tiny Hero. Die.
Die.
Die is his name.
I know, but you just put such a strong emphasis on it.
I know, I wasn't telling you, I was telling the audience. Because it sure did sound like I was doing a little Ganondorf line there.
Yeah.
Die!
And you shoot lightning from your fingers.
The opening theme, in my opinion, was very cute and felt very old-fashioned.
It felt extremely old-fashioned. I thought this show was older than it was.
Yeah, it feels, I don't know, there's something really like 60s about it.
I mean, it's definitely got an early 80s feel, maybe late 70s.
Yeah, it didn't feel, I don't know. This is like has the oldest feeling.
As previously discussed.
But I think the guy who did the music was like a veteran of TV jingles, which I feel like explains it.
Yeah.
The opening shows Dai going on a journey with characters who do not appear in the episode.
They sure don't. And there was a huge part of the intro about him fighting this gallant knight, and then we don't learn anything about that.
That might not be in the show at all, though. Well, apparently the manga began as a one-shot story promoting the release of Dragon Quest IV, which was coming soon at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that this episode is that one-shot story, because this episode feels very standalone. And
so
the opening shows him going on a journey with a group of people, and there's like no hint of that in this episode.
No. But like this is canon to the game, the series?
I don't know if it's canon to the game.
It's just a hype for it.
Yeah, it seems to, I mean, if it's canon, I guess it must take place in between Dragon Quest 3 and 4. But I don't know.
It's just the way you worded it. It made it sound like it was...
Oh, well, because it was to promote the upcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually connected to Dragon Quest 4. I think it was just...
Name.
Yeah, I think they were just like, Dragon Quest 4 is coming out. Remember Dragon Quest? Here's a manga.
Here's a story about a little boy on an island.
Yeah, well, I mean, it uses all the monsters.
He does.
This legend that we're told at the very beginning of the episode about the hero defeating the demon lord, the silhouettes that we see are based on the hero and his party members from Dragon Quest 3.
Okay.
I know that because he's one of the heroes in Smash Brothers.
Gotcha.
In the manga version, they were apparently shown fighting the final boss from Dragon Quest 3, but in the anime, it's just like a generic dragon monster. It's not any specific.
They're just fighting a tornado with a dragon inside.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like a Pokemon?
This whole thing felt like
God.
Pokemon.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, we'll get to that later, actually. I said that without thinking, but yeah.
It gets extremely Pokemon.
We have Dai here, played by Toshiko Fujita, who I was very surprised to recognize the voice of, because she plays Taichi in Digimon, the main character.
Oh.
Yeah, you won't
Not
know.
interested.
She's also apparently the Japanese voice of Lady in Lady and the Tramp. So we're told that after the Demon Lord was defeated, all the monsters turned cute and peaceful.
Yeah, and we see this with our own eyes when these menacing things turn into the dopiest creatures I've ever seen.
Yeah, but what's funny is I'm pretty sure the dopey versions they turn into are the versions that you fight in the game.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think those more menacing versions exist anywhere outside of this moment.
I don't know. You can always get more evil.
The menacing versions are like all red. And I especially noticed it with the heel slime because it just it turns from this horrible red jellyfish into a normal blue slime jellyfish. And I was like...
very surprised by
I
that.
was like, that's what it always looks like, though. It's always dopey.
The whole thing felt very much like sour pinatas.
It did. They're even the same colors.
Yeah.
And they're pointier. I didn't even think about that. But you're absolutely right. We're introduced to Dermline Island.
Oh, that's its name?
Is that what it was called? I think so.
I have no idea. I don't have a note of it.
Dermline, something like that. An island where Dai is the only human and is friends with all these funny, goofy monsters.
He's living the dream, except for the fact that he got shipwrecked there as a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. We get a scene where he's like riding around on a monster and there's a whole group of monsters running around with him, all happy and friendly.
Yeah, they're having a great time.
I cannot identify all of these monsters because I don't know enough, but I did recognize a couple of slimes. I saw a ghost there, which you cannot...
Oh, I love the ghost.
You cannot name it spooky. I saw a Draki, I saw a Golem, I saw a heel slime. They're all there.
I kept getting it confused with Monster Rancher because the golem looked like a golem from that.
It looks nothing like a golem. What do you...
Well, then maybe I just got them confused. I was like, that... No, you know what it is? It looks like some kind of golem from Rune Factory, and for some reason my brain was like, that was in Monster Rancher, not that game that you've actually played.
Monster Rancher Golem's grey and looks like a pharaoh.
Listen, my brain does some weird things sometimes, and
It's
I just
okay.
roll with it.
You've combined everything named Golem into one creature, I think.
Yeah.
Except the Pokemon.
And also Gollum is in there somewhere.
No, don't. Don't do this.
Now not the time.
I can't.
It'll make the episode too long.
Yeah, if I start ranting about Golem versus Gollum, we'll be here all week. So Dai wants to be a hero when he grows up. But his... what do we call him? His father figure.
Grandpa Brass.
Yeah.
His birth grandfather.
Birth?
Red angry man.
Yeah, he wants him to be a mage for the hero, not the hero.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they ever get into that, because he's really adamant about it for absolutely no reason.
I feel like they were just trying to go for like the Asian parent thing. The like you're supposed to be a doctor. Because he wants him to be a healer, basically.
True. He doesn't want him to be a rock star. He's got to go be a doctor.
Yeah. Brass is a lump shaman.
Lump shaman?
That's the name of the monster that he is, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Lump shamans are usually depicted as red, like this.
Mm-hmm.
But Brass is usually depicted as grey-blue.
Why is he red?
I mean, I'm assuming that they just colored him like a lamp shaman. The manga would have been in black and white.
That's true.
So you wouldn't have known what the intended color was. But in everything else that Brass has appeared in, he's always been grey-blue to distinguish him from other lump shamans.
Mm.
But in this, he's just colored like any lump shaman.
So is his ability to create lumps?
I think he's just a lump.
He himself is the lump.
Yeah, that's my assumption. He is played by Isamu Tanonaka, who I knew from playing Piccolomon in Digimon Adventure. Piccolomon is called Piximon in the dub.
Oh, it doesn't play a piccolo?
No, he's a little pixie. He also played Igor in the Persona series. I don't know who that is.
No, me neither.
Okay.
My knowledge of Persona is quite limited.
Well, it seems like he's in most of the games. He seems to be a recurring character.
Listen, I never beat Persona 4. I
We-
keep forgetting about
We need
it.
to get back on that.
I know. I was in the gay bathhouse.
You were very into it for a
I
while.
was very into it. Like it's an interesting game, but the problem is it's one of those things that give me analysis paralysis because there's so many things you can do.
Ah, okay. I had
And
that
like a lot
problem.
that will determine your ending. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, I want the best ending.
Yeah, I understand. He's also the Japanese voice of Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
So we were listening to Japanese Jar Jar whenever Brass was talking.
Oh, I love it. I wonder if his annoying speech quirk is as bad in Japanese.
I wonder. We should look that up later. So Dai goes off to sulk. He sits on a cliff with Goma-chan.
Yeah. He's lamenting over being bad at magic and just staring out to sea.
Yeah, he is. Goma-chan, I don't think that's a real monster type from any of the games.
Golden metal slime isn't real?
It seems to be an amalgamation of like a few different rare slimes. Golden slime is real. Metal slime is real. I think wing slime is real as well.
Well, that's why it's the only one of its type, and it's worth 1,000,000 fortunes.
It is. This is a combination of all three of them.
Yeah, and he's just living on this sad little island.
Goma-chan is played by Yumi Toma, who is known for playing Articuno, the older of the Pichu brothers. She played Nina in Tekken, Ivy in Soul Calibur. She played Fortune in Metal Gear Solid 2. She played Rain in Tales of Symphonia. She played Nana in Grandia. And more recently, she played Xena, the female member of the Deadly Six in Sonic Lost World.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she was the Japanese voice of Xena the Warrior Princess, because that would give me life.
Oh, I wish.
I wonder if that ever got translated.
I wonder. If it did, I'm sure it'll come up.
We'll find her. She was absolutely in one of these shows.
Yeah, she's done a video game show at some point. So Goma-chan hops on Dai's forehead and makes him look like he's wearing some kind of wingy crown.
Yeah, that's the crown of champions that only the hero can wear.
Which doesn't look anything like this when we see it later.
But it makes Dai feel better, so.
It does. But then he spots a ship coming in. And
Yeah, he just has a telescope in his tabard and he just pulls it out and he can determine already that this is the hero of legend, even though he's been trapped on an island his entire life.
yes, how does he even know about the hero?
I guess Grandpa Brass told him at some point. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I guess so. He does want him to be a mage for the hero, so.
True.
So Dai summons a merman.
Yeah, I liked that part.
Yeah, and the merman carries him to the ship. Meanwhile, on the boat, the heroes are being jerks.
Yeah, you can tell right off the bat that they're quite dubious.
Yeah, one of them's talking about how he wants to go kill all the peaceful monsters for fun.
Yeah.
Like, they know the monsters are peaceful. They just want to kill them all for the fun of it.
So they can go tell everyone how brave they were to fight all these monsters that weren't fighting back.
And they're also searching for the golden metal slime while they're at it.
Yeah, because it's one of a kind, and it's a monster of myth.
I don't have any notes on who played these guys yet, because it was really hard for me to figure out who these guys were.
They have names.
Yeah, but they don't get mentioned for a long time.
It's true, and you just never went back and got them?
No, I did. So I'll be talking about their name. I'll be talking about their voice actors as their names are revealed to me.
You couldn't just copy and paste in the Word document?
I could. I didn't. It's a choice I've made.
I do know that about you.
Anyway, Dai shows up on the boat.
Well, he jump scares everyone by busting out of the water on the back of a merman.
Yeah. He says that he could tell that they were heroes because they didn't scream when they saw a merman, but they did.
Every one of them screamed, and all of their faces were frozen in terror.
Yeah. I thought that was strange.
Just a little.
Anyway, the lady who is the what is she? The priest? I wrote down cleric. She's the cleric.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Yeah. Like the designs of these four characters are based on the heroes party from Dragon Quest III.
Mm-hmm.
The fake hero, his design is based on the real hero. So you can kind of see how he could mistake them for them.
No, you can't, because why does he know what they look like? Did Grandpa Brass draw him a picture?
So the cleric lies. And says that they've come to protect the monsters from humans.
I like that as she's telling him this, the rest of the crew is like 2 feet away, snickering diabolically.
Yeah, but Dai's too stupid.
He's too small. He doesn't understand.
I did think at this point, because at this point, it's very clearly a comedy show already. And I was kind of expecting for this whole episode to play out with Dai not realizing they had bad intentions and having him like save the day by accident somehow. Mm-hmm. It doesn't play out that way, but that's what I was expecting.
Not at all.
No.
I didn't know what to expect anymore because this was not the comedy show that I was anticipating. Like, this is just kind of like a somewhat serious fantasy anime.
Yeah. But it's weirdly comedy though, right? There's a lot of like very serious moments, and then there'll be like it'll deal with it in some kind of weirdly comedic way.
I don't know that I would classify it as comedy though.
No? You didn't think it was very silly when later in the episode the mage is defeated by a bunch of trees doing a silly dance?
I thought that was extremely silly, but I don't know. It's just the tone of the show is kind of all over the place.
It is all over the place.
Even the more comedic moments don't really feel like laugh out loud comedy. It's just like it's kind of goofy for this. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Anyway, they get to the beach and Dai gathers all the monsters.
With the gathering whistle.
I love that as all the monsters come charging out, they all look like happy and goofy, but it starts playing dramatic battle music.
Yeah.
And the heroes get all scared. I'm assuming this is like battle music from the game.
Probably.
It really helped to sell the feeling that the heroes must be feeling at this point where they're like having a million encounters at once. Also, so the cleric points at a slime and asks if there are any prettier ones, and the slime gets offended.
I love that part. She's trying to find the golden metal slime, but does it in the rudest way possible.
I love because it's not focused on. Like, we don't see the slime's reaction very much. It's just like a half second of its expression changing as she points. It was very funny.
I enjoyed that part.
Then Dai runs away to go find Gome-chan.
Grandpa Brass waddles up, trying to figure out what all the hullabaloo is about.
Yeah, and he immediately knows this isn't the real hero.
Yeah, because his eyes aren't virtuous.
Oh, that's what he said, wasn't it? I forgot about that. Yeah. So the fake hero pulls a sword on him.
This part was crazy because...
Okay, so Gome doesn't want to go back, but Dai grabs him and runs back anyway, and we get this long scene of Dai running. It's very quiet. There's like no music.
It's like a beautiful island landscape full of tropical flowers.
Yeah. And he's running for a long time. And I was thinking, this is weird. Why have they just got this like silent running shot for so long? And then he gets back and I realized that this was build up to what was about to happen.
Where the scene is entirely painted red and the hero's party is viciously slaughtering all of the monsters.
Brutally. It's really graphic.
It is. They're getting slashed. There's blood. They cut the rainbow snake in half.
And the butterfly.
Oh my god, the butterfly.
He gets cut in half too, yeah.
He does.
And there's blood everywhere.
It's insane. The scene stays completely red for the entire time that they're still on the island.
And this is where I thought to myself, maybe this is why this show never got dubbed into English.
But all the monsters are fine.
Well, yeah, I did take note of that later. After the fake hero and his party leave, we see Brass healing all the monsters up. And I was like, so are they all alive? Did anybody die? And I went back and I scanned the scene very carefully for the ones that got literally sliced in half.
Oh, me too. I was very worried about the rainbow snake. He was one of my favorite monsters.
But they were there. They're okay. You could see the butterfly with stitching running all the way across it, where it's been stitched back together.
Hard when I noticed that, because I missed it initially getting cut in half, but when I saw it flying with those Frankenstein stitches,
yeah,
like it shows the blue slime that has a chunk taken out of it.
Yeah, they just heal the chunk back. So that's good to know. It's good to know that death is meaningless in this world.
Yeah,
at least for monsters. I don't.
Rainbow snake's alive.
Yeah.
So Dai swears revenge.
He does.
Because they've stolen Gome-chan and tried to brutally murder everybody.
Yeah. And the fake hero bragged about how they get worshipped for being bullies.
Oh, too relevant to this day.
So Brass gives him a magic ball and some magic tubes and explains that he can use the magic tubes to capture monsters.
The Pokeballs.
This is the moment where I texted you.
Hooray!
Remember when I texted you that all caps, what is this show?
Yes, I do.
And I stopped myself from screaming, "Is this just Pokemon?" Is this where Pokemon came from? Is this the proto-Pokemon?
Protomon?
Because this is the anime version of a manga that came out in 1989. I think about a year after that released is when Pokemon went into development.
So other than the cute little bug catching story, it was also heavily inspired by Grandpa Brass.
But this, like, now Dragon Quest Monsters makes sense to me.
Yeah, because that technology existed.
Yeah. Although I don't think that I don't know if you even use magic tubes in the game.
They're just your friends.
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to play it again, aren't I?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll finally finish Joker. I don't know. I never knew about this. It's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. It is and it isn't, because as Grandpa Brass is teaching him how to use the tubes, Dai captures Grandpa Brass and registers him in his Pokedex.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah. It's not particular about what you can catch in the tubes.
No. Yeah. Pokemon, I mean, we've seen items get caught in Pokeballs in Pokemon, but we've never seen a human get caught in one. And
Can you imagine you throw out Professor Oak?
Yes. I want that to be I want that to be possible. But then why wouldn't they just catch Team Rocket? Every time Giovanni starts showing up and threatening people, they just catch him in a Pokeball.
Because they don't have the Master Ball, which is the only thing that can catch Giovanni.
Giovanni's canonically got like the highest catch rate or the lowest catch rate.
He's on par with legendaries and baby Pokemon.
God, baby Pokemon. Don't even get me started. I remember trying to catch that Elekid in
Nightmarish!
Diamond, yeah.
Every single game, it's like that. At least up, like, even in Sun and Moon, I'm pretty sure they hadn't fixed the catch rates for Magby and Elekid.
They're the only Pokemon that get easier to catch as they get older.
Right.
Anyway, Dai goes around the island catching a bunch of monsters in his Pokeballs.
And he's gonna bring them all on his quest to save Gome-chan.
Yeah, he rides away on a Chimera.
Which is just like a snake vulture.
Yeah. Ah, it's so cool. I want every show to be Pokemon.
I know that about you. I know that all you want out of life is monster ranching games.
I didn't know that we were watching another Pokemon. Pokemon-like. Or maybe we should start calling them Dai clones instead of Pokemon clones.
Like a Diclone Radish. Laugh at my bad pun.
I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a Diclone Radish. It's just a type of vegetable.
I've never met one. I'm sorry.
You've never met one?
No.
You've never gotten like some kind of Asian noodle dish that had Diclone Radish in it?
You know, maybe I have. I never pay a lot of attention to the vegetables. Whenever I'm ordering, if I'm in like an Asian place, I look at what type of noodle it is, I look at what type of meat it is, and whatever else is in there, I'll eat.
The last time I ordered noodles, it was from some Chinese place, and I specifically ordered the noodles that I did because it had daikon radish in it. I was like, I'm craving some daikon, so I'm gonna get these hand-cut noodles.
Alright, well you've sold me. I'm gonna look for it next time.
I wouldn't say that they're particularly flavorful or anything.
Don't try and backpedal now.
I don't want you to get upset when it's like this is just a vegetable.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna get upset, and it's gonna be your fault.
I'm gonna rain it down on you. You're going to get 500 messages at 4 a.m.
This is not what I had anticipated.
You know, the truth of it is that I'm going to forget what a daikon radish is the moment this call ends.
Very true. One day you're just going to be eating soup. I'm like, oh, so I guess you do like daikon. And you're like, what? Unaware that it's currently in your mouth.
No, you know what's more likely is that I'm going to have one and then I'm going to message you and be like, Mel, have you ever heard of this kind of radish? It's really good.
I'll be like, Mike, I told you about that 5 years ago.
That's the conversation we usually have.
It happens far more frequently than I'd like to admit.
Anyway, back to the show. What did you think of the ad bumpers? I really liked them.
They were cute.
Yeah. Is Dai practicing a fire spell with brass? And it goes wrong a different way each time.
When we leave, it barely works, but when we come back, he blows Grandpa Brass's face off.
Yeah. It was too small, and then it was too not small. Anyway, the heroes are presenting themselves to a king.
I'm just reading my notes. Just the buglemen toot their doots.
That is what happened. That's the perfect description.
Yeah, we're in some faraway castle town now where the heroes have brought Gome-chan.
Yes. This is where we learn that the leader of the fake heroes is Dermline.
Yeah, they finally tell us what these dumb characters' names are.
Yeah, after the ad break. Dermline is played by Hikaru Midorikawa. I'm excited to tell you that he was the voice of Softon in Bobobo Bo Bobobo.
I don't remember.
He's the guy with the poop hair.
That's right! That's right! What a dumb show.
He also played Rantaro Amami in Danganronpa V3.
Oh, yeah.
He's also the voice of Marth from Fire Emblem.
Cool.
He was Android 16 in Dragon Ball, and he plays both Lin and Shin in Cowboy Bebop. They're a pair of brothers who worked for the crime syndicate that Spike. That's it.
Oh, that main guy. I thought you were talking about a main villain. I was like, I don't know. I don't know who goes to this school.
No, Lin and Shin were a pair of brothers who were loyal to Spike within the crime syndicate that he used to work for before he quit and became a cowboy.
Gotcha.
Anyway, they present the king with the golden metal slime, and he's very impressed by it.
Yeah, he just gives them whatever they wish.
Yeah,
and,
literally whatever they want. He
what
says
are
they
the
can
parameters of that gift?
whatever they want.
I guess.
If they want,
what if they want to be king?
If they want the king to turn inside out and start shooting apple-flavored sundaes from his legs, that's what he'd do.
If they want to be breastfed by the king himself.
All four of them at once.
Yeah, they line up.
Yeah.
And the king sits on his throne and...
Well, I did say anything. I couldn't find out who plays the king.
Oh no.
He didn't seem to be in the cast list unless he has a name which is never said. I don't know.
His voice was just provided from beyond.
He's just played by the actual king of Japan. So yeah, Dermline asks for the crown of champions. So I guess it's the real thing.
It is, and it's also just kind of a weird thing for him to wish for, because I don't know, they did it for the money, right?
Yeah, and they can't all wear that. Maybe they're just going to sell the crown. Maybe the crown's worth more than the golden metal slime.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It seems to be that part of his motivation is just that people will take him seriously as a hero, and that will make his dirty dealings in the future easier, but it felt kind of weird.
There's a lot of importance put on this Crown of Champions. It seems to be incredibly important for whatever reason.
Yeah, for reasons we're not told, but meant to infer.
Yeah. But it also doesn't seem very important at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dai's in town now.
I guess there's only one possible place that they could have gone, because he didn't start chasing after them until like hours later.
Yeah. There's just the one town. I don't know.
Just the one town and the one meat vendor.
He's getting hissed away.
I thought that was so weird. Like, what implied that he couldn't have paid for that meat?
Yeah, I don't know.
We know that Dai can't pay for that meat, but he didn't.
Yeah, I guess maybe just like the sadness in his eyes.
The desperation.
Yeah. But
A boy who looks that hungry certainly can't afford my meat.
Yeah. He spots the cleric buying some clothes, as women do.
Yeah, because she can't go to the Crown of Champions feast looking like the trash that she is.
Looking all religious.
Looking like she has a job to do.
I love she's buying the clothes and Fungal just walks up in disguise.
I had no idea what that was. It just looked like a Grandpa Brass.
Yeah, they disguised it too much. I had to infer that it was Fungal. I mean, I'm still not certain, but I'm pretty sure that was a Fungal.
That walks into the stall, opens his stanky mouth, and knocks everyone out.
Yeah. We did see Fungal earlier. It's a funny fungus monster.
Yeah.
Funny mushroom man. But the mushroom head part of it is completely covered up by its disguise.
Yeah.
But it knocks out it knocks her out and then drags her away by the legs. Mm-hmm. And as it was happening, I was like, why isn't anybody commenting on this? And then I realized that everyone was knocked out.
Yep. That was a nice touch.
Now the show takes a dark turn.
It went a little weird, yeah.
Dai now has her tied up in a cottage out in the country with a bunch of slimes watching.
Yeah, why did he bring so many slimes? Like, that's like bringing a bunch of Rattata.
And why did he get them all out here to watch this?
Why were those his most menacing monsters?
And he pounces on her and strips the bottom half of her.
Right, like, they established why her shoes needed to come off, but why did he take her pants off?
Yeah, there's no reason.
It was super uncomfortable.
The slimes are into it, though.
The slimes are weird perverts.
The slimes are weird perverts. One of them's blushing as it watches her get stripped from the waist down.
Whatever, she seduces all of them later.
And then Dai releases a giant anteater, and it advances on her in a very slow and disturbing manner. I had guessed already, like as soon as the shoes came off, I guessed that this was going to be a tickling torture, but
yeah,
the people who made this show really wanted us to feel uncomfortable in this moment.
For sure.
They went out of their way to make this just hard to watch.
And I think it is just harder to watch in this age of the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh, this is another one of those weird foot things.
Yeah. So if anybody listening, if there's anyone listening who's into feet, give this show a watch. Dragon Quest, Adventure of Dai.
Where a giant anteater monster tickles the feet of a pantsless woman.
With its tongue.
With its tongue.
Make no mistake. Anyway, she immediately talks.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah. Tells him not only where Gome-chan is, but also where the party is and all of their weaknesses. We don't get to hear their weaknesses yet, but she told them.
Like, that feels excessive. You'd think you'd hold out a little bit for the weaknesses, but she was just done.
Yeah. It's not like he unties her, though.
No. Does he at least put her pants back on? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But he leaves her behind under the watchful eye of 100 slimes. And here we are at the banquet where we learn that her name was Zurobon.
Was, but no longer is.
Zurobon is played by Hiroko Emori, who played Chiaotzu in Dragon Ball. And that's about it.
Oh. Well, I got nothing.
So Dai's here scaling the castle walls like an Assassin's Creed.
Right. He's just with his bare hands climbing up this tower.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, I know.
And while he's up there, he just rains down Pokemons.
He does. He tosses all of them. He spots Gome-chan in a tiny, tiny cage and gets mad about it. And then he just tosses all his Pokeballs at once into the banquet, where they cause mass chaos.
It's great. Like, why can't you do that in Pokemon games?
Yeah. Even in Legends, you can't send out 2 at once. I'm mad about it.
I know, especially since you're constantly getting ganged up on by like 3 and 4 Pokemon.
5 once. I had 5 Pokemon fighting me and it wouldn't let me send out a second one.
It's so ridiculous.
It's lunacy. You should be able to send out all 6.
Yeah.
Just gang up. Yeah. Bidoof. I was going to say swine up.
No, I want to turn this Bidoof into a pulp.
Use that in crafting.
Make a cake out of that.
I was going to say that too.
Bidoof mash.
Oh, meanwhile, back at the cabin, Zurobon's flirting with some slimes.
Oh, yeah. It's weird.
She wants to get untied. It is weird. These, like, I'm fine with a flirtation scene, but it's always weird whenever you add an interspecies element to it.
Yeah.
I always find that anytime somebody's flirting with something that's not even physically compatible, I'm always like, what's your goal here? What's the deal with this?
Unless it's a robot that can feel.
We're to assume that a blob of blue slime would find a human female attractive.
A human female, like, 10 times its size.
They're into other blobby slimes.
Yeah.
That's what they find sexy. Oh, look at the pointy tip on that one.
Look at that king slime.
Slime sex.
But then,
please change the subject.
We go back to the feast and the chaos, and Dai gets cornered by the mage, and what is he, like a barbarian or something?
Yes, the warrior.
The warrior. And he knows their weaknesses, so he throws out the appropriate Pokemon.
Yes.
And this scene was incredible.
He throws out a goodie bag for the warrior.
Which is just a sack with a goofy face on it. Jewels.
And yeah, jewels raining out. I know goodie bag from Monsters. I had one of those.
I love it. my favorite.
I had one in Joker, I think. And the other one, for the mage, he throws out 3 tree faces, which scare the mage with a funny dance.
Yeah, like at first I'm like, is he just scared of spooky trees? But Dai later goes on to expand on what exactly their weaknesses are, and he says Masafo is weak against odd dance.
Yeah.
Like, why? What does that even
I
mean?
guess he just really hates it.
No, your steps are all wrong. You're out of rhythm.
No, you're cringe. And the goodie bag leads the warrior to a golem who smashes him into the ground like a whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
So at this point, we learn the names of the mage and the warrior. Apparently, they hadn't been given names in the manga at this point.
Oh.
So their names were first revealed in the show, and then later those became their names in the manga too. Whether maybe they were always intended as their names in the manga, but they hadn't been said in the manga.
So you're telling me that Hero is a canon name?
Yes. It became canon after this, at least.
Oh boy.
So, Masafo, the mage, is played by Takeshi Aono, who is known for playing Kami-sama in Dragon Ball. He played Dr. Wily in the PlayStation Mega Man games.
Cool.
He was Colonel Campbell in Metal Gear. He played Doohan in Cowboy Bebop. That's the guy that Spike got his ship from. And he played the Japanese dub voices of, like, my entire childhood. So
what a strange place to find him.
Get ready for this list. He is the Japanese voice of Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Harry of the Wet Bandits in Home Alone.
Oh no.
He was Uncle Fester in The Addams Family. He played...
So really just Christopher Lloyd.
No. He also played various Danny DeVito roles, including the villain of Space Jam. He was the Joker in Batman the Animated Series. And he's the genie in the DuckTales movie.
Oh, wow.
So that really covers all the bases of my childhood.
Yeah, that's... If I wanted to alchemically make a mic, that's what I would add. Those are the ingredients.
The only thing missing is a Sonic of some kind. And then we have Hero the warrior, who is played by Yukito Shihori, known for playing Android 19 in Dragon Ball, Vulcan Raven in Metal Gear Solid, and The Sorrow in Metal Gear Solid 3.
The Sorrow.
Yes, the Sorrow's the dead one. He's a ghost.
Dead Tom.
Anyway, where are we?
Army Crab.
Oh yeah, which in English this monster is known as Crabbid.
I like Army Crab.
Me too. Most of the English names of Dragon Quest monsters are puns, so... Derlin's out here using fire to fight all the monsters. Apparently he doesn't have any weaknesses.
Yeah, that's what he tells us, so we know we can believe him.
Yeah, and I assume that Dai would know. Unless Zeruban told him all the weaknesses except for that one.
Well, I guess we kind of never really learn what his weakness is, unless his weakness is just, strangling children.
I think his weakness is that he's a dick.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of little moments over the next few minutes where the king is having an extremely slow revelation that this guy isn't so good.
Because he's pummeling a small child.
First he notices Dai's using a wooden sword.
Yeah.
And then Derlin threatens to kill Dai, and the king asks him to stop, but Derlin says no.
He says we mustn't have mercy for the wicked, like this small child clearly is.
Yeah. Dai disarms him with a candelabra
Yeah.
and snatches the sword. And this is where Zurabon arrives with a sack of slimes. And she says she's going to kill the slimes unless he gives up.
Yeah, I'm reading my notes trying to remember how the slimes turned into the Slime King.
It's the magic ball, isn't it?
That's right, that's right.
So, while he's distracted by the slimes in peril, Dermline grabs Dai and goes to kill him. At which point the king is like, WTF, dude.
This seems a little sus.
Yeah. But then Dai remembers what Brass said about the magic ball and he tosses it in the air. And then for some reason, the slimes grow and merge into a king slime.
Yeah, because really all it looks like it does is there's a big flash and everyone shields their eyes. So it's like, oh, it's like a flashbang. But apparently it's a slime grower.
Unless those two events were completely unrelated.
It's hard to tell.
So does the king slime even do anything?
It squashes Zurabon.
Oh, that's it?
I think so. That's all I have in my notes.
And then Dai catches Dermline in the magic tube.
Yeah. The tides have turned and he just puts him in a tube.
Yeah. The implications of the tubes are suddenly meaningful. You can catch people in those tubes.
Not just monsters and grandpas, but human beings.
Yeah, and I don't think we see Dermline get released, right? Does he still?
Sure don't.
Does he still have him?
What if it's a later episode where Dermline gets out?
Well, I mean, I assume that Dermline continues to appear because otherwise, like I said, it's sometime after Volume 10 that the mage and warrior's names are revealed in the manga. So,
well, they don't get captured, so they can keep showing up.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe they show up on the island to release Dermline from the Pokeball.
We need to watch more of this show.
I agree. This show was fun.
Yeah. So anyway, the king realizes that Dermline was a POS. And he gives the very important Crown of Champions to a little boy instead.
Mm-hmm.
With no prompting and no reason.
To be fair, this little boy just scaled a castle wall and like single-handedly stormed the castle.
Is that enough to get
Jan.
like the one and only Crown of Champions?
He was just gonna give it away for someone bringing him a slime.
Like the rarest slime in the world.
A slime.
And then Dai promptly loses the crown.
Promptly. We're back on the island and the crown is gone.
Yeah, literally like cuts to the next scene and he's like, "Where's my crown? I don't know where I put it."
And Grandpa gets mad at him for getting so caught up in this crown because he still wants him to be a mage.
Meanwhile, Gome-chan is flying around wearing the crown and dreaming of king slimes for some reason.
I took that to mean like Gome-chan is the king slime with his crown and his big buff wing arms.
That makes some sense. But king slimes don't have arms.
No, but like when Gome-chan flies at the screen, he's got the crown on, and then his wings turn into big beefy arms and he flexes.
The thought bubble with the king slime in it would have made sense to me if the king slime was golden and metal, but it's just a regular blue king slime.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as a golden metal king slime, ding dong.
It confused me. Like, was he dreaming of becoming a king slime? Was he pretending he was the king slime?
I think he's pretending he was the king slime.
Did he just want to meet a king slime someday?
He sort of already met a king slime.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Bop.
Yeah, that's literally the end of the show. And then we get a melancholy song about unfulfilled childhood dreams.
It was a
played
melancholy song.
Still paintings of loot and maps.
Why was there a pair of glasses washed up on the beach?
Who was the curly glasses man? The curly haired glasses man on the horizon?
He has to be a character who shows up in later episodes. He has to be.
He
Right.
has to. Otherwise, that scene is pure nonsense.
There has to be, like I said earlier, I think this episode was the standalone one before they made the decision to turn the manga into a running series.
Mhm.
So I think this episode is just an adaptation of the issue that was supposed to be a one-shot, one-and-done deal. And I think the next episode is where the story's going to start for real.
I think we're gonna have to watch the next episode sometime.
I think we are. I don't know if we've even watched one show yet where I've been like, we never have to watch that again.
I'm trying to think, but even the bad ones, I'm like, no, we need to watch more.
Oh, the bad ones I want to watch more of even more.
I want to watch Donkey Kong.
I want to watch more Pac-Man.
That one I don't have as strong of an urge.
Well, too bad. It's happening.
No.
So yeah, there we go. There we have it.
Yeah,
It was good. I liked it.
I did like it, yeah.
So, let's talk about the legacy of this, shall we?
What has it brought to the world?
Well, I already mentioned how the names of Masofo and Hirohiro were first mentioned in this show.
Yes.
And then made it into the manga later. Something I didn't realize until I was trying to find this show, something that made finding this original version very difficult, is that there is a 2020 remake of this show.
What?
Yeah. It is currently airing a remake, a more faithful adaptation of the original manga, which is planning on adapting all 37 volumes faithfully this time.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be interested to look at that, the first episode of that, and see how it stacks up to this one.
See how inferior it is.
Because I will say, from the screenshots I've seen of the newer one, it's very polished, very clean to look at, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like that would lose a lot of the charm of this one, because I loved the way this one looked.
I love that, like, 80s anime feeling.
Yeah, me too. It's got, like, rough lines. You can see the tools they use to draw this.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I'm not such a fan of the much more kind of, like, homogenized look of newer anime where it's all digitally drawn.
Yeah. It's kind of how I feel about graphics and visuals in general. Like, just looking more polished doesn't always mean it's better.
Yeah. Whenever I'm drawing digitally, I go out of my way to use brushes that look rough and, bad.
Yes, I do it on purpose.
I don't like a really clean line that much.
Yeah.
It can look really nice, but I like to
I like
see...
clean line, but my lines often aren't connected.
I just love style. I like it when you can see that things were made by people.
Yeah.
And you could really see... Like, I don't want it to sound like the show looked bad, because it looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The animation was fantastic, which I expect from Toei, because they're amazing. Like, the animation of him fighting that knight in the opening was ridiculously good. Anyway, Gome-chan and Brass later appeared in a bunch of games. They appear in a few of the Monsters spin-offs and stuff like that.
So then there is such thing as a golden metal slime.
Yes, but I meant there wasn't at the time. And I think it still hasn't ever appeared as a standard monster. It's always like specifically Gome-chan
Mm-hmm.
making appearances.
Well, it's the only one of its kind.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I didn't consider that. Dai is also playable in Jump Force, which is a fighting game crossover of a bunch of Shonen Jump things.
That's cool.
And that was Dai's first appearance in a Western released, or an English released media, at least.
I wonder if he can catch people in Pokeballs.
I hope so. And there were several Adventure of Dai games released to coincide with the 2020 remake of the show.
Really?
Yeah. They seem
what kind of game was it?
There were like 3 of them, I think. I didn't look too deeply into them. Hold on. One of them was an arcade game. I remember that much. So there is Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai Crossblade, which is an arcade game with collectible trading cards. There is A Hero's Bonds, which is a smartphone RPG. And there is Infinity Strash, an action RPG for an unannounced console. I guess that one's not out yet. That wasn't me tripping over my words, by the way. It really is called Infinity Strash.
I believe you. They get real creative with their names sometimes across the pond.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce most Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, I refuse. So many of them are just numbers, and I got that number blindness.
Right.
So
do I pronounce the re in Chain of Memories?
No, it's short for regarding, so
Regards, the Chain of Memories.
That's Kingdom Hearts' reply regarding Chain of Memories. I guess that's it. That's all I got to say. Do you have anything else to say?
No, not really. That covers it.
It was a good show. I'd watch it again. I'd watch it more.
It was a good show, yes. Don't let my hesitation fool you. I just have trouble putting into words exactly what this show was. Because it was everything and nothing. And I
Yeah. I want to know who all these characters in the opening and ending are.
Me too.
Because we see him traveling with a boy and a girl. They appear in both the opening and the ending, so I know they must be important. At one point,
there's glasses man.
Yep, there's curly-haired glasses man. At one point, they're standing on a flying boat.
Oh yeah, and it's just a normal ass boat that's flying.
It's a rowboat that's just flying.
Like, it looks like this show gets bananas, and I'm super into it.
I feel like it has to get bananas. Just Dragon Quest is so funny because it's presented like a very serious medieval-based RPG, and then you see some of the enemies that are in it. Should we say goodbye?
Probably.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, for Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai.
Joining us on our Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Did you save Gome-chan from Darylin?
I didn't.
We did.
No, I got stuck at the Zarabon torture scene.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure out how to make that work.
No, it was hard.
It was. I got past it once, but I forgot to make a save state, and then I fell off of the castle wall and died.
Oh, typical.
I know.
I chose the wrong thing to use against Hero.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he killed me.
The trees just weren't dancing oddly enough.
I forgot that it was supposed to be odd dance, and I used silly dance instead.
You fool!
Yeah, you can find us on Patreon and toss in some money if you feel like it to get some bonus outtakes from the show, which range from short little silly jokes we made that didn't make the cut to long 5-minute conversations that just weren't relevant enough to stay in the episode.
But they're relevant to life.
To our lives, at least. We got a coffee now. Yeah, you.
You remembered it this time.
That's because I literally just edited an episode today where you reminded me at the end again. So. Yes, we have a coffee now, which you can find on our Twitter account at sbreakfastfc on Twitter. Because I don't remember the coffee link, but it's probably Super Breakfast Friends Club. I'm going to make that assumption. What else? Twitch. I'll be streaming. I try and do it on Wednesdays, but sometimes I move it around if other things get in the way. But I will be trying to stream Dragon Quest. I'll do Dragon Quest 3, because that was the newest one when this show came out. So come join us for Dragon Quest 3. We'll try it out. Well, I'll try it out. Mel might be there.
I might be there laughing the whole time.
It depends. It depends whether the stream falls into line with Mel's free time.
With my free time and my health. Which have both been failing lately.
Yes.
Bye!
Bye! Oh, you did it. You did it. You did it to me this time.
I caught you. I don't often get the chance.